Headlines with Alejandro Solana.
They're driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. I'll start with the big acquisition locally here that I think everybody's eyeballs are on right now. It is, of course, Inter Miami adding Nicolas Freire on loan from the Mexican club Pumas for the entire 2024 season.
All right. I think I missed that one.
Your thoughts, Hawk?
Yeah.
Nicolas Freire.
I think he's going to be better than Dame Lillard, and I'm excited about the Heat.
So the Miami Heat trade Kyle Lowry and a 2027 first-round pick to the Hornets in return for Terry Rozier. That 2027 Heat first-round pick, due to the Hornets, by the way, is lottery protected. And I was reading in the Herald and in the Athletic, it would convey to Charlotte in 2028 if the Heat is in the lottery in 2027.
And it would be unprotected in 2028. But the odds of being a lottery team 2 seasons in a row probably are slim.
Correct. Rozier will wear number 2 for the Miami Heat. The Heat play tomorrow against
Who's the last number Grizzlies. 2 for the Heat?
Gabe Vincent. I have the notable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent, Wayne Ellington, the man with the golden arm, now on the coaching staff. Yeah. Joe Johnson in 2016. Remember, he was on the buyout market, and the Heat scooped him up for the playoff run.
Very brief run with the Heat.
Number 2, kind of a legendary number. Keith Askins.
Oh, legendary Heater.
And Rory Sparrow.
Rory Sparrow, one of the originals. Yeah. Loved Rory Sparrow.
Yeah. So Scary Terry continues the number 2 legacy in South Florida.
All right.
The Heat did post "Thank you, Kyle" on their social medias. If you want to see how the Miami Heat fans are responding, go ahead, check through the replies. Kind of checks out with how people felt over the past couple weeks. Huck, I mean, you dubbed me as the Kyle Lowry apologist yesterday. I do feel bad with the way the Lowry era ended in Miami.
I listen, the Lowry era, in my opinion, and probably you can explain why I'm wrong, I don't think it ever was what we thought it was going to be. They moved on specifically from Goran Dragic to get Lowry. They were both the same age. Goran had given you great seasons. There was a conscious decision, let's get Lowry. And I get it. Lowry, like you said, NBA champion, all-star. And I don't think, and maybe it's similar to when Chris Bosh came here, I'm not necessarily certain that we knew what type of player Kyle Lowry was. And so Crowder, who's always been critical of lack of scoring, you know, we did this with Chris Bosh when he first got here. We're like, wait a second, why is he playing outside? How come he doesn't look like he's banging in the paint? And people were like, that's because you never watched him. You know what size he is, but you've never watched him play.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle Lowry was probably the victim of some of that.
Yeah. And I also agree with Heat fans who were frustrated the past couple weeks with his comments as well after being taken out of the rotation.
It was obvious he wasn't long for the team.
Absolutely. I also sympathize with people who say he never bought into the Heat culture because
he missed a lot of time. We never really knew what was going on. We know that there was family stuff going on, but there were absences that were not Heat-like.
Hawk, bottom line, you added him to the team. You were the number 1 seed in his first season. He played excellent in the regular season that year. He got hurt prior to the playoffs. You still made it to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and he gutted it out through a hamstring injury.
Yep.
Last season, I get it. He wasn't good. He missed a ton of time, and he's been a shell of himself. Still made it to the NBA Finals, and he was excellent off the bench for you in that run. I'm not even a big Kyle Lowry fan.
I get it.
I just think, people were calling him the worst Heat player of all time.
It was a massive contract.
Right.
And Goran Dragic happens to be beloved by Heat Nation.
Yeah.
And he loves, you never got that from Lowry. You know what I mean? And it's just different personalities and different vibes. But yeah, I don't think anyone looks back at the Kyle Lowry era the way that they do the Goran Dragic era.
Yeah.
But he did have success. You're right. It's inarguable.
Well, I just find it weird because, again, listen, personally, I wanted to interview Kyle Lowry once, and he brushed me. So, I have no reason to defend him. I have no relationship with him. But I just find it weird the way Heat fans today are just like, oh, worst Heat player of all time, worst acquisition ever.
Because really, if you look at it, you go, hey, I'd be thrilled with them if they were the number 1 seed, they went to an NBA Finals, and he averaged 27 points.
Yep.
But because he didn't average 27 points a game, but again, you're talking also recency bias. He shot 1 of 9, and it was very apparent that they were not on the same page
in
anymore.
the month of January. He's been really bad. I just think that Heat fans were scapegoating him for their offensive problems or lack thereof offense. And to me, there still needs to be a serious fix in terms of Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler on the floor. I think Terry Rozier as your fourth, or I guess Jaime is the fourth, as your fifth option, that's a huge bonus. Like, there's no doubt, major upgrade, especially offensively for the Miami Heat with Terry Rozier. There's no doubt about it.
See, here's on the text, it's a little more nuanced. Stop sugarcoating it, Solana. Guy was a bum.
Okay. Well, it's settled then. He was a bum. F me, and he was a bum.
Guy stinks.